She recorded our private arguments for TikTok to prove she was right. I stayed silent. When her followers found out the videos were edited, the comments turned off themselves. The first time I ended up as content, I didn't even know it was happening. We were having an argument in the kitchen, a totally normal disagreement about money. My girlfriend Helena wanted to book a ridiculously expensive trip to Bali, and I was trying to explain that maybe we should finish paying off our new car first. It wasn't a screaming match. I didn't call her names. I just said it wasn't financially smart right now. 2 days later, my buddy Kevin sent me a link with the message, "Dude, is this you?" I clicked it. It was a TikTok video from Helena's account. The caption was, "Finally standing up for myself. It's hard when he doesn't see your worth." The video was short, maybe 15 seconds, and it was a clip from our kitchen argument. But it was weirdly edited. It only showed a part where I had raised my voice slightly to talk over the dishwasher, saying, "It's just not gonna happen right now." Then it cut to her, looking like she was on the verge of tears, whispering, "I just feel like you never listen to what I want." The comments were a dumpster fire. Hundreds of them. "Girl, leave him. That's a huge red flag. The way he spoke to you is so controlling. You deserve Bali and a man who supports you." I felt my stomach drop. She had recorded our private argument and cut it up to make me look like some kind of monster, all for a few likes from strangers. I walked into the living room where she was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, a little smile on her face. She was reading the comments. She looked up when I came in. "My friend sent me your new video," I said. She didn't even have the decency to look guilty. She just shrugged. "Yeah, it's kind of blowing up. It's important to share my truth, you know? To show other women they're not alone." I just stared at her. My truth. She had taken a normal conversation, twisted it into something ugly, and was calling it her truth. I wanted to yell, to demand she take it down, to tell her how completely messed up it was. But I looked at her, at the way her eyes were glued to the screen, watching the like count go up, and I realized something. Yelling would just give her more content. A big, dramatic fight was exactly what she wanted for part 2. So I stayed silent. I didn't say another word about it. I just went into my office and closed the door. She thought my silence was weakness. She thought I was just rolling over. She had no idea that I had just decided to give her all the rope she needed to hang herself. That first video was a huge success for her. It got something like 500,000 views. The validation was like a drug. Suddenly, she was a brave victim, a voice for the voiceless, and she needed more material to keep her new audience happy. I started noticing her phone in weird places. Propped up on a bookshelf in the living room, tucked behind a fruit bowl on the kitchen counter, peeking out from behind a pillow on our bed. She was trying to catch me at my worst, hoping for another soundbite that she could edit into a viral moment of me being a toxic villain. So I changed my approach. I knew I couldn't just stop disagreeing with her about everything. That would be too obvious. Instead, when she would try to start an argument, I became the calmest, most reasonable person in the world. One night, she started in on me about not doing enough around the house. I saw her phone, screen dark, propped up on the mantel behind a picture frame. "I just feel like I do everything," she said, her voice already shaky with fake emotion. "I cooked, I cleaned, and you've just been sitting around all night." Instead of getting defensive, I just nodded. "You're right, I haven't pulled my weight today. I got stuck on a work thing and lost track of time. I'll do the dishes and take out the trash right now." "I'm sorry." She just stood there, completely thrown. She had a whole speech ready, a whole performance planned, and I had just deflated it with a simple apology. She couldn't use that. There was no drama in a guy agreeing he should do more chores. This started happening more and more. She would try to bait me into a fight, and I would refuse to take the bait. I saw the frustration building in her. Her viral fame was fading, and her new videos of our arguments were boring. Her followers started leaving comments like, "He seems pretty reasonable here. I don't get it." Of course, that just made her double down. If she couldn't get a genuinely bad reaction out of me, she would just have to edit more creatively. The next big escalation came when her family got involved. Her mom, Brenda, was her biggest fan. She would leave comments on every video like, "So proud of my brave daughter for speaking out," and "You are so strong." One weekend, her mom and her sister Jess came over for dinner. I knew it was an ambush. Right in the middle of the meal, Brenda put her fork down and looked at me with a sad, pitying expression. "Mark," she said, "I saw Helena's latest video, the one about the finances. I'm just so worried about her. It sounds like you're being very controlling with the money." I knew Helena was recording. I could see her phone, propped up on the little stand she used, sitting right next to the salt shaker. It was a live performance. I didn't look at Helena, I just looked at her mom. "Brenda, I can understand your concern. Here's the situation. We have a joint savings account that we both contribute to for shared goals, like a down payment on a house. Last month, over $2,000 was transferred from that account to Helena's personal account, and then it was spent at a designer store. I was trying to have a conversation about that, to understand why our shared savings were used for a personal purchase. That's the context of the video you saw." The table went silent. Brenda and Jess both looked at Helena, whose face had gone pale. I had just laid out the facts, calmly and without any emotion. There was nothing she could edit. She couldn't cut my statement up to make me look bad. I had just told the truth in a way that was impossible to twist. After they left, Helena was furious. "You tried to make me look bad in front of my own mother," she yelled. "No," I said, picking up the plates. "I just provided the information that you edited out of your video." That was when her best friend, Ashley, got involved. Ashley was just as bad as Brenda. She was Helena's personal hype man. After the disastrous dinner, Ashley started texting me. Long, angry messages about how I was a gaslighter and a manipulator. She said I was trying to isolate Helena from her family. I didn't reply to a single message. I just took screenshots of all of them and saved them in a folder. The final trap was something I had been planning for a few weeks. I have a home security system with a few cameras in the main living areas. I installed it after a neighbor's house was broken into. The cameras record both video and audio. Helena knew they were there, but I think she honestly forgot about them because they were small and out of the way. She was so focused on her own little hidden phone camera that she forgot she was being recorded by another, much more objective source. I decided to create an argument that was so clearly her fault that even her most devoted followers wouldn't be able to defend her. I came home from work one evening and she was in a bad mood. Her latest video had flopped. She needed some new drama. I decided to give it to her. I saw her phone already set up, peeking out from behind a stack of books on the shelf. "Hey," I said, "I got a strange email today from the landlord." "What about?" she asked, not looking up from her phone. It was a formal complaint from our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Gable. She said there was a huge party here last Tuesday night with loud music until 3 in the morning. I was out of town visiting my parents, so I assumed that was you? She looked up, a flash of panic in her eyes. It wasn't a party. It was just Ashley and a few friends over. "Okay," I said, pulling out my phone. Because Mrs. Gable sent the landlord a video from her doorbell camera. It shows about 15 people coming and going from our apartment. And she also sent this. I showed her a picture. It was a picture of a cigarette burn on the hallway carpet right outside our door. The landlord says we're responsible for the damage. That's coming out of our security deposit. She jumped up. "She can't prove that was us. It could have been anyone." "Well, here's a picture Ashley posted on her Instagram story that night," I said, swiping to the next photo. It was a picture of Helena and Ashley with about 10 other people crowded into our living room. One of the guys in the background was clearly holding a cigarette. The picture was time-stamped at 2:47 a.m. Her face went from panic to furious. "You're trying to blame me for this. This is so typical. You always try to make everything my fault." She was putting on a show for her hidden camera. She started fake crying, talking about how I was always looking for ways to attack her, how I was trying to control her and stop her from seeing her friends. It was a masterpiece of victimhood. I just let her go. I stood there, silent, as she performed her monologue. When she finally ran out of steam, I just said, "Okay. The landlord is sending the bill for the carpet repair." Then I walked away. She posted the edited video of that argument the next morning. It was a work of art. It cut out everything about the party, the neighbor's complaint, and the cigarette burn. All it showed was me confronting her, and then her crying about how I was always blaming her for everything. The caption was, "Sometimes the emotional abuse is worse than anything else. I feel so alone." The comments poured in. "This is his villain origin story. He's a classic narcissist. You need to get out of there, girl. We're all here for you." It was her most successful video yet. I didn't say a word. I just waited. The person who finally exposed her wasn't me. It was my sister, Sarah. My family had been seeing these videos for months, and they were furious. I had already shown them the unedited footage from my security cameras, so they knew the truth. Sarah had been waiting for the right moment to step in, and Helena's video about the party was that moment. My sister created a new TikTok account. The username was just The Other Side. She uploaded one video. It was a split screen. On one side was Helena's heavily edited TikTok, with the dramatic music and the tearful captions. On the other side was the raw, unedited footage from my security camera from the same night. The video showed the entire, calm conversation. It showed me presenting the evidence. It showed Helena's fake tears. And at the end, my sister added the screenshot from Ashley's Instagram, showing the party and the cigarette. The final text on the screen was simple: "Who is the real victim here?" She didn't tag Helena. She didn't have to. The internet found it. It started as a trickle, then it became a flood. Someone screen recorded my sister's video and reposted it. It got 1 million views in a day. Then 5 million. People started stitching it, duetting it, making their own commentary videos about it. The truth was out. I watched it all happen from my office. The comments on Helena's own videos started to change. The supportive messages were replaced with angry ones. "Wait, so you lied to us? She's the one who is emotionally abusive. She's a manipulator. We supported you, and you played us all for fools." The way you faked those tears is actually scary. The backlash was brutal. Her followers turned on her with a vengeance. Her comment sections became so toxic that she had to disable them. People started going back through all of her old videos, re-examining them with new eyes, pointing out all the inconsistencies and fake emotions. Her online world, the one she had so carefully built on a foundation of lies, crumbled in less than 48 hours. The comments didn't just turn off themselves. They were disabled because the truth had burned them to the ground. She came home from work 2 days after my sister's video went viral. She looked broken. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just looked at me with empty eyes. "You did this," she said. It wasn't an accusation. It was just a statement. "No," I said. "I didn't. I stayed silent. You did this to yourself. You just broadcast it to the world while you were doing it." She didn't have a response to that. There was nothing left to say. Her career as a professional victim was over. "I think you should pack your things," I said. She just nodded. She spent the next few hours silently packing her clothes and her filming equipment into boxes. There was no drama, no final tearful performance. The show was over. I watched her go. I didn't help her this time. I just stood at the window and watched as she loaded her life into her car. When she was gone, I walked over to the bookshelf, the kitchen counter, and the mantel. I gathered up all the little phone stands she had hidden around the apartment, and I threw them in the trash. The silence in the apartment was the best sound I had ever heard.